Welcome back to my lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. We're going to have a late IHP show with 5D Mystic Stories with Maria, and we're going to continue to talk for a minute about something I was talking about in another episode. Suffering isn't a part of the enlightening, empowered, integrated mind, body, self - 5D Mystic Stories episode. We ended where I mentioned soul age groups. So if you did tune into that one, I'm going to quickly mention them. And then we'll continue on our conversation about how expanding and growing, more loving are part of the love stories of those of us who are 5D mystic, spiritual, mindfully living, loving people. Okay, and so our other episodes are on that, and then we've had a number of them on the themes of what lovers are. We want emotional mature people because we are emotionally mature. We don't do drama. Okay, so the soul age groups are the infant, which is focused on being alive, the baby, which is focused on belonging, the young, which is focused on independence, the mature interpersonal harmony focus, and the old spiritual fulfillment focus. The elder is enlightened right here. So when you are in the enlightened group and enlightenment, you don't learn about the self because of others. That's because you have your own securely attached, non-traumatized body. So you have the capacity to think through your emotional plane. It's sifting through sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. Okay, so I have a heart that lives in recognizing itself in one another because your heart and my heart are the same. Because that's exactly what the soul is, or spirit, or source. So every body has been made with the kingdom of God within them. Thank you, Jesus. Or enlightenment seed. Thank you, Sadhguru. Even Hippocrates or Hippocrates says we all have the same soul, but the body changes. Okay, so you own your heart. Now, you have a whole heart when you are a securely attached, non-traumatized person because you're self-led. That's where our secure attachment stays when you are a mindfully living, loving person. Right here, as a teenager, I didn't build charges. I began to work with my charges because I have mindset skills, sifting through the sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts of Maria with the inner growth mindset that I bring to you. And I got attachment trauma educated in the past year, so I get to integrate it all. One-to-one mentorship, write me, masterclass, sign up. Workshops, retreats, sign up. Those are sign up. And then we have video exercises for when we get to the paid subscription-based model content number on the audio podcast platform, and or when we get our tiers on YouTube. And then we also have fan base as an option. So let me just read in case you didn't tune into any of the episodes today. So a heart that lives in recognizing itself in one another suffers not in life or love and relationships. Nope, we expand and grow more loving as we go through our love ones and our lovers, and it's not about monoamory or polyamory. You learn how to love more. Why? Because again, a higher self is what it means to be self-led. And so this is why I have this consistently growing within me, Maria. Okay, so I won't be telling you all my stories right now. I'm going to read to you the ones that we know who are fakos. They don't stay around because they don't want to. And that's why we've talked about there's people who are functional alcoholics, functional drug addicts, functional sex addicts, functional binge eating, functional a lot of it. That's why I read to the soul age groups, because they all actually fit the bill of those who don't move into enlightenment soul age group, which you don't have to. Like nobody has to be anchored in their ventral energy or create resiliency with their emotional and mental and physical plane and live a restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating life. So it's not the polyamory community that is ruining tradition or ruining anything. It's not the monoamory community. It's not the people who love different groups of people. No, it's actually, are you a healed human being who knows when your trauma comes up, if it comes up? Mine comes up, my 3-year-old trauma charge with my mom and my twin. And I still work on it. I take accountability. I regulate. But you know what I do know? I have a healthy life. As I wake up rested, my default mode network is down regulated, and I don't look and watch for my back. I'm not going to get fucked with. That's a person who has the capacity to tell you what mindfulness practices support when you have actual mindset skills, when you do an inner growth mindset, and that means you use your prefrontal cortex. Zen master, you really need to learn to differentiate better People who don't own their body think death is easier than living. I own my body. It's mine. And that is why the soul, the self, and all of it is right here. It ain't a magical baton. And that's the part of what makes a 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group as a functioner, child, adult tell you, I love channeling and downloading Maria's way. And when I see people who are actually not downloading this way, I know who they're for. And it's okay, because again, there's a voice for every crowd. And I'm not here for the ones who don't want to bring out the best in others, because the leaders that we are called ventral vagal state leaders. And that's healthy self-worth human beings. So I'm a lover, and I don't bring you drama. I don't bring drama because I don't live drama. I'm not hooked on it. I don't get hooked on stress, and I don't actually do testing of any type except for physical health testing, and I usually am pretty spot on, and when I'm not, I'm like, shit, I need to get more sun. Yes, so sometimes when you work from home, it gets really difficult. Well, you get really involved and passionate, and that's how actually life keeps to you staying into moderation with all things. So a heart that lives in recognizing itself in one another suffers not in life or love and relationships. Again, we expand and grow together, and that's because we don't suffer the love or the drama stories that those who are instead unhealthy roller coaster buddies do. It's a very sad story to meet people that don't understand how easy love is, but then again, they have people they can follow so that they can continue asking each other punishing questions, watch each other's back as they continue to not actually lead themselves to enlightenment or to anything, and continue to play jackasses. It's fun to watch the donkeys. No, it's not, but I'm being humorous. We are lovers for real thanks to the mental, emotional, and physical self-agency and actual maturity. And so that's the part of where we experience well-being, because we know how to feel it in here versus find excuses for not feeling good inside. We also find integration of brain very appealing because it brings forth your intelligence. And so you don't, I'm yellow right now, let me hold on a minute. These cards, they give a color, and there you go. So I prefer to be a little bit less of the orange color, although we could say that that's going to be beneficial to our lovely sacral. There we go. Okay, now we're better. So again, love brings out the best of us as we enjoy living the infinite higher human conscious potential, because we're choosing to be our authentic self. Well-being is what we pursue, and intelligence. And then we get to be ourselves with others that are in the same boat. We don't waste each other's time. We don't actually hide anything from one another. We also love, respect, and accept each other for that which we are, and nobody has conditions. So while some people are, they're not fierce lovers, they don't actually have the capacity to understand what it means to be yourself. I understand it, and then I think of this thing that I got told when I was a kid, which is, you tell me what to do, but you don't want to do what I want you to do. You know what, you're right. We all have ego, and so this is the part. I don't play God. God is God, and divinity is divinity, and really the reality is, if you embody anything and you want to compare yourself to divinity, I'm just thinking you obviously don't know how to embody your authentic self, because why would you ever want to replace the beautiful child you are? The only people who perform are the same ones who don't know how to be their own lovers. I will be loved even if I'm a cockroach. And it's very beautiful to be able to know how not to be a person who has spite. And spite is not really fun. I have frustration for my brothers and sisters of this, because I'm 4'9" and I can't actually beat them up. And it wouldn't matter even if I did beat them up, because again, you don't teach a donkey to drink from the good well by beating him up. And using your hands is bad manners. It means you don't know how to talk. And really it means that you have this ill way of using your anger. So empowered feminine here. That's why we don't get tested by no one. We're going to be lovers. And when we meet people, if they don't want to be lovers, they will pretty much get tired of any that are genuine lovers, because that's how it works. Secure attachment is considered boring by people who want to live drama, stress, and their unhealthy self-worth very uninteresting relationships. I'm 45. Drama has not ever touched my door because I'm Maria. And I'll tell you how I feel and think, and I'll be able to handle my emotional, mental, and physical plane because I'm a securely attached person, and that's why it's not about your oversoul with twin flame or soulmates or any of that. Your self-love is your self-acceptance, and it is your self-respect, and it is in a way of having all your child parts asleep. If they come up, you know they come up, and you don't make up bullshit stories for yourself. You know how to handle that which is the truth because you don't lie. When you are a healthy self-worth person, you don't make up shit so that you can keep doing what are maladaptive patterns of behavior. People who are liars, that's the one thing that I don't appreciate, which is why it's not really a fucking waste of my time now that I'm all attachment and trauma informed. It's really pretty clear when you have people who don't care to take themselves seriously. They're inconsistent. They change it up. I notice when people change up their stories, and then I notice when they deny that they change it up. And unfortunately, there's a couple of scenarios for why somebody would deny that they change it up. I can forget things too and fuck up words too, which is also why I won't insist. And I don't play with words like gaslighting or any of that other bullshit because that's not necessary. If somebody has states of self, that's a sad story, and that can happen. And that is where I won't be pointing out. I think you have lost a fragment of time because people who do experience this, they will notice these things, and like all of the smart therapists have taught me, they will not go. And we have plenty of smart ones sharing the information. Guess who they follow though? Guess who they follow, and guess what they end up becoming a groupie of. So with that, I don't dare interfere in a person's space because mental health is very serious, and if you're not caring for your own mental health, and with everything that is online, you don't know how to find the good ones, you don't have the capacity to prove to somebody that they forgot a moment of time when they actually get argumentative with you, when they get basically what a person who doesn't want to take ownership of themselves. You also don't have to judge them harshly, and that's the part. It's quite straightforward. There's the laws, and then there's things that take place. But when you have immediate family, obviously that's a different story, but immediate family is where I've seen more than once those who do have situations, they don't have good family. Nope, they have bad examples, and they actually will defend those bad examples. And even when you point out that they are reliving something that they've lived in a way that can be worked through, they will have a story for you. This is really sad. And that's because Patrick Chan is out there spelling it to a T. He says one of the biggest and hardest problems for people once they realize that they have this childhood trauma is how bad it really was. Because you are a child who learns from your environment. If you take ownership, I had a child trauma-centric environment, you will have a lot of what I see because it will mean you take your life seriously to the point of saying, I learned a lot of bad manners for myself and then treating others, and it's just like, wow, I have a bunch of shit that I do that I was not ever meant to treat myself this way. Do you understand what depth? I mean, I understand it from a healthy perspective, and that's why I'm saying a bunch of people who don't heal, they just blah, 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 blah their mouth. If you recognize, I come from a past where I was taught how to not take care of myself, how to date beneath myself, how to have a shitty nervous system, I would be pretty pissed too. And that's why when he says you don't need to forgive anyone, I'm not a child who actually had any of that level. And so I won't be able to know, but I bet you, Maria, I'd be all over with Patrick Chan. I'd be like, you know what? I'm gone. I'm gone, depending on what level of actual shit took place for me. So it's not about having to point a finger at the household, not no. It's realizing, wow, I learned a lot of things that aren't good for me, and I bring drama, and I bring suffering, and I bring chaos, and that's actually my comfort because I was terrified as a kid growing up and with alcoholics or drug addicts or whatever it is, and I brought all of this shit into my life and lived half of my life in a way that I was not ever meant to, and that's the part of why we want to hold all people accountable, and you hold yourself accountable. And so when you have a functioning alcoholic making up bullshit from their mouth, you can't shame them. They live with society, they follow the law, they're not harming anyone. except for themselves, and someone say they're harming others. No, they're not. And people who get all rigid, they're the codependent type. Go hang out with someone else. The ones who want to say, oh, poor thing. No, it's not poor thing, and it's not rigid. It's how mindfully aware are you of what you are giving up. Most people don't really think of that. And that's where Neil deGrasse says it's sad that people don't know how to use their brain. And he says it's the education system. It ain't the education system, Neil. People don't go to therapy, and they have some idiots telling them, let me break down the modern day therapist and tell you they're trying to imprison you the exact way that she did 2, if not 3 and more posts. And so does the fancy man in his suit, is to a T what the teenager wants to hear so that they can continue to go and do. And then there's a bunch of other groups. So you know what I noticed? The same teenagers that got all spiteful, that were idiots, that I said, you're all going to get in trouble. You know this, right? And don't come and involve me, because I'll rat you all out. And I, to this day, will rat anyone out. Don't tell me your secret. I ain't gonna protect you from the law. It's not because the law is right. It's because I'm a member of society, and I plan on making an impact in a good way. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And it's not about walking a straight line either. Remember those there's tests, those quizzes. What do you do if a person steals food because they're hungry? Yeah, I'm not gonna arrest that person. Is that wrong? Yeah, it's wrong according to law, but I'm gonna give you the honest answer. I'm gonna feel bad. They're a person who's starving to death. How dare you? And it makes me think of this story that I read. Jean Valjean. Anybody watch Les Miserables? The Miserables? That, oh my God, that story is so sad. So yeah, if you don't know humanity, this is where life isn't black and white. But when they give you these types of quizzes, and then they also tell you how people are giving. Yes, we are. At the same time, we're not stupid. So people aren't stupid if they have a good gut. And that's actually sad. As I grow up, I now to this day am very well aware of staying in the middle when I'm presented with equations because of repeat patterns. And so I just try to say, you don't have to feel guilty for judging, meaning for having a skeptic, because I don't like judging. I don't want to judge the stone. But I will be in the presence of, I have some negative built up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 experiences. I want to have the benefit of the doubt because I know there's kindness out there, and I know, I trust, but I'm common sense and grounded in reality, which by the way is physical mastery and practice right here. To be able to sit with yourself with an open heart and know it's common sense to have both equations. It's not pessimism and optimism. It is being grounded in neutrality, which is the truth, which is reality, which is you don't know, you don't make assumptions, and you're going to use your temporal junction with your prefrontal cortex, Zen master. It's really easy if you practiced it. So when people don't know how to do it, walk like an Egyptian. They don't know how to navigate their own nervous system, and so their own love, fear, anger. And really, love comes with the oxytocin gene hormone. But anger, fear, certainty, happiness, disgust, surprise, I know how to navigate them all. And I still don't like to doubt my brothers and sisters. But I will not allow myself to be an idiot either. So I'll sit with them and I'll balance it. And it's not karma. So it's dharma. And there you go. And if there's some karma, I process the charge and I think it through. And there you go. Here you go. I got flowers for you. Oh, that's so cute. That makes me think of there's a song. Which one is it? I forget right now. But we'll be back with more. In the meantime, again, we bring love, we bring authenticity, transparency, we bring health, we bring our 5D buttholes. Come on back over if you are one of our 5D buttholes of the collective Mystic Spiritual Mindfully Living Loving People. And I'm sure that we will have more episodes in the next couple days. We got a new moon coming up. So the themes for our 5D collective are pretty straightforward as you've been ascending, expanding, and that's empowered feminines, empowered masculines. We have both, but you know which one you are, and it'll be fun to be back with more of that as we settle into we're going through the half of the year. And so yeah, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So we'll wait till June to see what other new things pop up. But in the meantime, thanks again for stopping by.